has got 43 wins. And you see Travis Levy is deep along with Strader for Boston College. Levy 6th in the ACC at 23.5 yards. A return, and he will touch a knee, and the Eagles will start from their 25-yard line. When you talk about Boston College, we start with the Buffalo Boys.
Yeah, you do. A.J. Dillon on the left, an ACC Player of the Year candidate, 6 foot, 250 pounds, over 1,200 yards this year. And when he gets a spell, it's David Bailey. So together, Wes, if you're keeping track, that's 490 pounds of running back coming at you. They form quite the duo. Had a heck of a game last week against Syracuse, and they will look to do the same here today against a very stout front seven for Florida State.
And Dennis Grossell is at quarterback, replaced the injured Anthony Brown a month ago. And here's the toss right side, and Dillon will get 6 on first down to the 31-yard line. Leonard Warner, the linebacker, was the first guy there. And a quick look at Dennis Grossell. 2 years ago, the 7th string at quarterback. Yeah, they had 7 of them here at Boston College. Second and short. Dillon breaks 1 tackle and bangs through 2 and 3 out to the 40-yard line. Nasruddin, the safety, on the stop.
Well, the big thing there, Wes, is they had Amari Gaynor unblocked in the backfield to try and get A.J. Dillon.
Here's the sweep, and Flowers turns the corner. Came within a whisker of maybe stepping away from that one, too.
Oh, and if he'd have gotten out of that one, it was 88 and out the gate. There was nothing but green grass in front of him. The freshman not quite able to finish that run the way he would have liked.
Dillon out, Bailey in at the running back spot here for second down. And David Bailey, who invites contact, will be a yard shy of the first down. Gaynor, the defensive end, does make the stop there. Roddy, Boston College is #1 in the ACC and 5th in the country at over 282 yards a ball game.
Yeah, it's basically them and the service academies up there at the top. Ohio State up there as well. They are going to run the ball, particularly with Dennis Grossell in the game to help protect the inexperienced quarterback.
Grossell trying to sneak for the first down, has to break the plane of the 50, and I think he has, and that'll be a first down play for Boston College. Eagles are here after dismissing Syracuse at the Dome last Saturday, 58-27. Florida State lost 27-10 to Miami last Saturday at Doak Campbell Stadium. And Willie Taggart was fired the next morning by athletics director David Coburn. And here is Bailey. I told you guys, I think David Bailey invites contact. You say A.J. Dillon, I give you a hard time about this. A.J. Dillon, you say, is nifty. David Bailey doesn't mind hitting you.
No, absolutely. Neither one of these guys minded, as we've got a Boston College player down.
It's Alec Lindstrom, the center, who is up very quickly and now will go back down again.
Not a good sign. With him going back down on the ground, you're assuming it's more severe than he originally thought, thinking that he could walk off the field. This would be a big loss for the Eagles.
Walked off and under his own power, and they kind of checked him out here. But Eric, a little combat here in the middle, huh?
Yeah, he gets slung to the ground, and at the end of this play, you'll see his left leg on the knee of the Florida State defender. Hopefully just a little bruise. He's able to be walking around on the sideline right now. I'm actually right next to their bench.
Dwayne Scott in the ball game at center. They'll flip it on here on the bootleg. And coming back is Adreese, who missed the win at Syracuse last week to pick up the first down. Grossell was a tidy little 8 of 10 throwing the ball last week at the Dome, and starts out with his first completion here.
And he's going to feel a lot better about the potential completions going forward, because Alec Lindstrom, the starting center back in the game.
A.J. Dillon returns as the running back. That's Flowers in motion, and here goes number 2 again. And he runs into a stack of white shirts just inside the 45. Robert Cooper. The interesting thing is they lose Marvin Wilson, the outstanding All-American prospect at that defensive tackle spot. But Robert Cooper, Corey Dirk, Dennis Briggs, Cedric Wood, they still got plenty of guys up front for Odell Higgins. Here is Dillon, left side. First down, steps out. There's a flag down back at the 35 as Dillon is shoved out of bounds near the 10. But let's check the first marker of the day with the referee, Riley Johnson. Looks like it might be a hold, or in that neighborhood, if you will.
During the run, holding number 77 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Zion Johnson, the left guard for Steve Addazio.
Zion Johnson, a really good player, really athletic guard for Steve Addazio. Getting called for that certainly puts him back. The thing I've been interested in, Wes, and I'm interested to see today, is it's cold. And 250-pound backs are hard to tackle anyway, especially in the cold. We've already seen A.J. Dillon be able to make Amari Gaynor miss. There you saw it down the field. Hamza Nasruddin not able to bring down the big back.
Here's Grossell on a keeper, catching Florida State asleep a little bit there, and Grossell gets the first down. To the 22-yard line, Nasruddin shoved him out of bounds after a 22-yard gain.
Well, it's just a straight draw, and Grossell doing a great job of being able to outrun DeCallon Brooks to the sideline. It's a big pickup after a penalty for Boston College.
Here is Dillon against two Seminoles for a yard. Boy, Florida State ran for well over 460 yards last Saturday at the Dome, and now they're getting all sorts of contributions. A.J. Dillon, of course, the bell cow, but Grossell helping out. Now David Bailey's come back.
Well, the damage that those two big backs did last week was something to behold.
Here is Bailey inside the 10 to the 8. First and goal for Boston College on their opening drive. And Roddy Nasruddin again the stop after a 13-yard run.
And in talking to the coaches, Nasruddin was excited about this game. He's a big safety that at the next level is going to be asked to tackle some of those backs. So it's an opportunity for him to prove that he can do it.
Here is Bailey again, banging inside toward the 5. This is the kind of football you just don't see much anymore, Roddy. And there's a little bit of want-to in this today.
Absolutely. Again, I mentioned the temperature. Those extremities get a little more painful when they get hit in temperatures like this, and Boston College is going to test your will to tackle.
Fumbled the snap, ball is loose, and Florida State thought they had it, and I think BC's recovered it, and they have. Back at the 17, Bailey covered it up. Florida State had the fumble dead to rights and couldn't cash in.
Well, it's just a fumbled exchange by Dennis Grossell, and then the ball gets knocked out, and Florida State tries to scoop this ball. David Bailey, Johnny on the spot, able to just corral it.
Dennis Briggs knocked it loose. DeCallon Brooks had the football.
Yeah.
So now 3rd and long. 3rd and goal for the Eagles against this Noles defense. Wide open and a touchdown. Kobe White.
Wes, what a job by Dennis Grossell. After the big penalty, has the scramble to get Boston College in a situation where they can continue this drive. And then after his mistake of fumbling the snap, gets an all-out pressure look. One safety in the middle of the field. They forget to cover one of his receivers. Kobe White delivers an accurate ball, and Boston College on the scoreboard.
14 plays, 75 yards, 5:38. Eagles on the board first at Chestnut Hill. Kobe White, the TD catch. America's heroes, both abroad and in this country. We welcome you back to Chestnut Hill. We've got military folks around the world pulling for both Florida State and BC today with Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, Wes Durham, our great crew on ACC Network, and it's already 7-0 in favor of the Eagles as Dennis Grossell has tossed his 7th touchdown score of the year to Kobe White. We'll see what Florida State has in order for us today. Noles trying to get something going here on the kick return and around the side. comes Isaiah Bolden. And he'll be knocked out of bounds up near midfield.
Well, Wes, on this touchdown, Florida State is showing pressure with the free safety in the middle. They're going to bring a blitz from the slot, and it looks like it's DeKalen Brooks that's going to drop back and spy. It looks like he should be in man-to-man coverage on Kobe White. Nobody covers the Boston College receiver. And Dennis Grossell has an easy pitch and catch for his first touchdown of the day.
Fourth TD catch of the year for White, and here is James Blackman out of South Bay, Florida, starting at quarterback today. Coming back here to the near side, and the very dangerous Cam Akers for the Noles, and a big play on first down to Akers. So James Blackman gets the ball as the starter today for Odell Higgins and offensive coordinator Kendall Browns.
We started the first four for this team. It's been sort of back and forth with Alex Hornibrook. Hornibrook having started the last two, but in the first game post Willie Taggart, it's James Blackman that gets the ball.
Akers' first carry of the day, and he's greeted by John Lamont. You see the details of the campaign for James Blackman. Here's Blackman going to the right and almost coughed it up, but managed to squeeze off a yard or two. TJ Ram had an early shot at him. Third down coming up, Roddy.
Wes, it's interesting on a day like today where the ball is cold. That ball gets slick when it's cold. It's a little bit tougher to throw. Here faced with their first third and long. Let's see how aggressive Florida State is with an offensive line that struggled.
Terry at the top of the screen. Blackman going to shoot it here to the near side. And the catch is made by DJ Matthews for a Florida State first down to 25.
For an offensive line that has struggled all year and been bad the last few years, they did a great job on their first third down to give the protection to Blackman to get that first down.
Fresh set of downs for the Noles at the 24-yard line. Blackman wants to shoot it again down the field, and that time Tamari and Terry the intended receiver, but it was low. An incomplete second down coming up. Florida State comes in 7th in the conference and 79th nationally at 393 yards a game. They're better than 2-to-1 pass to run, Roddy, in terms of the yardage contest.
Yeah, Kendall Briles wants to go fast. We've already seen the tempo here today.
And the center, Andrew Boselli. By the way, this is the 6th different offensive line Florida State started this year.
Offense number 76, 5-yard penalty.
Darius Washington making his 3rd start. The left tackle guilty of the infraction there. And let's be honest, guys, this has been a source of frustration for Florida State fans, coaches, players, everybody. The offensive line, and this is not the only year this has happened, Roddy. A couple, 3 years of consistency or inconsistency, if you will, in the O-line.
Yeah, and it's something that you have to have in this conference to play well consistently.
Blackman, a quick throw there. And fighting inside, Treshawn Harrison. And they'll measure him to the 17. And he'll need 3 for the first down after a 12-yard throw there.
You talked about the offensive line, Wes. Well, an offensive line's best friend is getting the ball out quickly. I've loved what Kendall Briles has done in the passing game early in this game, designing throws on time to get the ball out of this quarterback's hands.
Here's Terry's first grab inside the 10, reaches for the pylon. But Tamari and Terry is going to be ruled out of bounds at the 3 on a 14-yard throw from Blackman.
And that's just too easy from this Boston College defense. Terry just runs a little out, and you can see it looked like clearly out of bounds before he reaches that ball out. Mario Terry is going to have his name called a lot.
The give to Akers and Max Richardson, the leading tackler for Boston College, along with Valdez off his defensive end spotter right there. There's Richardson. 87 stops coming in. Redshirt junior from just outside of Atlanta at Duluth. Very quickly, 2nd and goal. Briles has got the tempo he wants, I think, don't you?
Absolutely.
Blackman wants to throw, steps up, and will be stopped at the 3.
Here you are faced with a big third down with Boston College having gone down and scored on their first. And in these situations, if you had an offensive line that you believed in, you may be treated as as 4-down territory. I would treat it as 4-down territory no matter what and go for it if you don't get it here. Maybe run the ball twice.
Blackman dancing in the pocket, throws over the top of Neighbors, the tight end, incomplete.
It was great coverage by Boston College on the back end. James Blackman had some time and had the throw. He's got an open receiver and just trying to place it. He overthrows it, and Gabe Neighbors not able to come down with it.
Roddy, they're going to bring Ricky Aguayo on, who on the year, 5 of 10, longest is 53 in Virginia. This will be right at 20 yards. Basically an extra point, but a very tight angle for Aguayo now.
Yeah, always tricky on one of those hashes this close.
And Aguayo punches it through from 20 yards. And during the break after the Florida State field goal, that is Allison Crowther, the mother of Wells Crowther, who has been such a central figure in the red bandana game the last 6 years. And Allison, the previous 5, had been accompanied by her husband Jefferson. Unfortunately, he passed away last January. So today, which I am sure makes this even more emotional for her than it has been previously, she is here today and honored in such a wonderful family. They tell an amazing story of their son, Wells, a former lacrosse player here at BC. And look at Travis Levy on the kick return out beyond the 30, shoved out near the 32-yard line. That's where BC's second possession will begin. Well, don't forget, this is game 1 of 3 big ones today on ACC Network. Coming up, Dave Clawson takes number 19 Wake Forest to Lane Stadium, where Virginia Tech waits. Chris Cotter, Mark Hersley, Kelsey Riggs standing by for what should be an unbelievable atmosphere. And then ACC Network primetime football presented by Geico. Number 15 Notre Dame with Ian Book, struggling in the last 3 games, visits the Horseshoe at Wallace Wade Stadium to see David Cutcliffe and the Blue Devils. Dave O'Brien and Tim Hasselbeck with Katie George there on our coverage. Look at the banging of A.J. Dillon on the first carry for 5 yards. Emmett Rice, the linebacker, junior from Miami Gardens, on the stop for Florida State.
Yeah, and he basically had to make a guy miss in the backfield. Darius Robinson, the defensive end, came basically free off the edge. He was supposed to be trapped by one of the linemen, but they barely got something on him. A.J. Dillon makes a nifty move west and then gets up the field.
Here's Dillon again. First down run toward the 45. Now, Eric, let's be honest. We gave Roddy a bit of a hard time last week for calling A.J. Dillon nifty. And then yesterday in our meeting with Harlan Barnett, the defensive coordinator, he hauls out nifty to describe A.J. Dillon.
It was an incredible moment when he said it, and I honestly have to agree. Roddy has the vocabulary of a 55-year-old in a 30-year-old's body, but you know the word nifty describes him. He's 250 pounds. You would assume at all times that he's going to try and run somebody over. We've seen him a number of times already today make guys miss in the backfield. He utilizes a spin move as well as a stiff arm. He's just an incredible back.
He's got great feet, and honestly, Wes, there's not a lot of NFL backs that are built like A.J. Dillon anymore.
Play fake by Grossell. Second down. Wanted to take the deep shot. Now trouble looms. Grossell now throws, and it's caught. Adreezy again, the big tight end in Florida State territory. How about Grossell buying time here, fellas?
Well, how about this Boston College offensive line holding up the defensive front to give Grossell the time to make some maneuvers in the pocket, find a receiver down the field, and deliver it. This is a redshirt sophomore, former walk-on quarterback, showing the moxie of an old guy who used to do it. Matt Ryan kind of moved up in the pocket like that and delivered.
Bailey picks up about 4.5 on first down. Robinson, the tackle for Florida State.
And I'll say this, guys, he had about 7 seconds to throw there and maneuvering the pocket. That probably does not happen if number 21, Marvin Wilson from Florida State, is in this game. That shows how big of a loss he is for the Seminoles front.
It's a good call there.
Yep. So here is Grossell, second down. Here's Bailey one more time. And toward the 30, it'll be third and about 3 for Boston College. Now, here's the interesting, we talk about this game in the trenches today. We gave you some of the run numbers. By the way, BC almost 282 in conference play. Florida State allows 143 in league play. So they're pretty good, middle of the road, if you will. in ACC play as you watch Bailey pick up the first down. I think he broke the plane of the 27, which would give BC a fresh set of downs. Nasruddin the stop. But Roddy, this game, can it be decided BC's run game, Florida State's defensive front?
Absolutely. The entire offense of BC runs through that run game. It's staying on schedule. David Bailey hobbling just a little bit, but because they have these two backs, they keep them fresh, which allows them to go 5, 6, 7 plays in a row running the football.
Grossell on a play fake again. Tried to fire it into a tight window. Akeem Dent got a hand in on a ball intended for White, who has the touchdown catch already.
Interesting that we see a first down straight drop back pass, basically a drop back pass on first down, because this is a Boston College team, as I said, stays on schedule. 2nd and 10 is not on schedule, but it may mean that they're considering this 4-down territory and they still have 3 down.
2nd and 10's not that long when you can get 7 on 2nd down, right? Make it 3rd and 3.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you're breaking tendency. First of all, you're breaking tendency throwing the ball on first down. Yeah.
And when you do it this close, I mean, I'm not sure that they're doing that on their own 30, but when you're on your 30,
right?
Absolutely. Not only are you having consistent success in the run game, getting positive plays, but also you still have 3 plays to run your offense if you want to go for it on 4th down.
10th play of the drive, and here is Dillon again. At that time, Florida State really rallies inside. Cedric Wood, a junior who Odell Hagan said has got to step up for us. Big 49 got a hand in there, and then Stanford Samuels is the one that finally shut the door. So here is 4th down.
Looks like they're going to kick the field goal, Wes.
Yep, Aaron Boumeri, who on the year is 7 for 10. His longest is 45 at Louisville. And this will be 37. With 90 seconds to go here in this first period. Gotta hurry, and it's off to the left. So a missed field goal from 37 yards by Boumeri. They run 11 plays, and BC comes away with nothing.
And what a confidence boost for this Florida State defense after allowing Boston College to go right down the field, giving up some big plays. And this field goal never looked right from the beginning. It honestly didn't look like it had enough to even get there, and then just stayed on that left hash. You see Odell Hagan's fired up for his defense, getting a big stop.
Yep. Knowles will take over from their 20-yard line.
On that field goal, wind a little bit of the factor going against the kicker. I'm down here on the field, and I can feel it blowing right to left into the kicker space. I think it affected the field goal a little bit, but like you said, Roddy, not a great kick from the start.
So Blackman brings DJ Matthews in motion toward the bottom of your screen, and here is Cam Akers crashing over the top of the 30 to the 31.
You know, when talking about physicality, we talked a lot about the 240-plus backs on the other side, but Cam Akers, a guy that seeks contact as well, finishes his runs really well, something that was a focus for him in the offseason.
Blackman whips it to the far side. Tamari and Terry the catch. Picks up 9 on first down. Terry comes into the ball game, 8th in receiving yardage at nearly 650. Has 6 scores as well. Already a couple grabs here today. Akers back to work and took a big shot from Richardson after he got the first down to the 43.
He may have taken a big shot. That spin move was nice. That was tight. He set up the defender on the outside, spins back to the inside. You take a shot there, but hey, do that again. Eventually that inside guy coming from the inside isn't going to be there.
Here's the wild Cam with Blackman in motion. Akers trying to get to work, and BC reads it well. So Kendall Browse has had some success using Akers as the quarterback, including Cam putting it in the air a couple times.
He can sling it. The high school quarterback, a guy that can do everything for this Florida State offense. That's a wrinkle that they'll incorporate as well.
Akers gets across the 45, but it'll still be 3rd and long as TJ Ram will stop on the final play of this first period. Boston College 7, Florida State 3. Guys, I thought we had a really candid visit yesterday with Kendall Browse when talking about what Florida State might be offensively today, Roddy.
We certainly did. And one of the things that stood out to me that kind of gave us the inclination that James Blackman may be the guys, when we asked him for who were the leaders this week on the offense, the first name out of his mouth was James Blackman. Yep. And he was fantastic with us yesterday, just talking about how excited he was for another challenge against a Boston College team that he thought they could have some success against.
Snap to Blackman. Quick throw, Terry the catch. Eludes the man. First down to the 43. Brandon Sebastian finally made the stop. But scary Terry made the first guy miss.
And it's the second time on a third down they've given that easy out cut to Tamari on Terry, and he was able to pick the first down up both times.
Quick look, Blackman now going to sail one deep. And it is broken up, intended for Gavin.
If you're Keith Gavin, you got to come down strong with this ball. It's a good play on the back end by Jason Maitri, but Gavin kind of bobbles it initially, and then Maitri is able to knock it out. But you got to secure that up top strong with your hands. Bring it down to your body. The bobble cost him.
Little flip, and here goes Akers. Cam Akers close to a first down at the 34. Minshew, the right guard, was able to kind of steady the throwing lane for Blackman there. Snap to Akers. And I don't know. 34-yard line. I don't think he got very much there, Roddy.
I don't know if he got enough to get the first down. And it's the veteran Tanner Carafa there in the middle.
Say Brandon Barlow, the defensive end, was able to get around the legs too. Florida State makes no. Blackman bringing the play in from Kendall Browse.
Yeah, quick decision to go for it on fourth down. If I'm Florida State, go to something very similar. Power right up the middle. Where you're going to have the wild Cam Akers in the backfield.
And now a timeout will be taken. No, they broke the huddle with 12.
Illegal substitution.
Yep, sure did.
12-men in formation.
That's exactly what happened. Florida State broke the huddle, and Jordan Young, one of the wide receivers, I believe was the guy drifting to the bench area. He then skipped off the field. So that's what made they broke the huddle with 12. Well,
and mistakes like these are mistakes that have plagued Florida State for the last few years. And when you listen to the talk around this program, particularly last week in the Miami game where they had 10 penalties, 8 of them in the first half, it was frustrating. Procedural penalties like this that cost them against Miami and led to that costly defeat.
The previous play is under review.
Now, by rule, they can look, Roddy, as we found out this summer when we sat in the seminar, you can look at game management and the procedural piece involving the huddle to make sure that the penalty for the 12 is accurate. Tom Zamorski is the replay official here today at Chestnut Hill. And John Bush is the communicator with referee Riley Johnson. Okay. Good luck, Roddy.
Yeah.
Now there goes the tight end McDonald off. And see, here comes McDonald back, and you see that's 83, I think, Jordan Young, who goes out to line up.
Yeah. And then here in the middle,
you had, and see, they broke the huddle with Young on the field.
Young on the field, exactly.
Which is 12.
Which would get you 12, absolutely. You're exactly right, Wes. And then even then, DJ Matthews is trotting over to the side. I don't know if he was going to line up, but certainly a lot of confusion with the in and out. And the officials are going to take a look at it. I would imagine that this play would be confirmed off of what we just saw.
Right.
The huddle is broken with 12 men on the field.
Last week in the first half alone, Florida State had 8 penalties for 60 yards. They had 3 pre-snap penalties in the game. You mentioned it earlier, Roddy. This is the type of stuff.
The ruling on the field is confirmed.
These are the types of mistakes that have Florida State fans extremely frustrated with the state of the program right now.
So instead of going for it on 4th and short, Tommy Martin, the punter, comes on, and Travis Levy, who is 5th in the ACC at 8.5 yards of return, will stand heels locked at the 10. just going to kind of flip this over. Levy will signal for it and make the fair catch at the 11. Still a 7-3 ball game. Early second period at Chestnut Hill.
Ground. Here's my vantage point right here from the sideline. You could see a great push, a great surge from the offensive line from Boston College all game long. I've had a great vantage point from the side, and you get to see it on camera now. You'll be able to see the BC offensive line at work.
A.J. Dillon will be the back. First down carry, and Dillon picks up almost 7. Well, they threw it once on first down.
Yeah, and it ended in a missed field goal. So what do coming back? You go back to that surge that Eric Wood was talking about on the left side of the line. A.J. Dillon with a big hole to run through.
Grossell hands it to number 2 again, and there is a rarity, Roddy. A tackle for loss.
That was one of the things that Harlan Bennett, the Florida State defensive coordinator, was so impressed with these two backs. Is he said in all the plays that they charted, there were only a handful, less than a dozen, that they were tackled for a loss. He just talked about the fact that they were so good getting at least back to line of scrimmage. I would expect some sort of rollout here for Dennis Grossell to make it easy.
Straight ahead goes Dillon, and he gets the first down. Just cracking helmets to the 22. Eric, I'm going to ask you because you were just there. Why do you think A.J. Dillon will be such a good pro? Is it because he's an outlier in terms of size and build and speed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's his footwork that brings him to the next level, and a little of that niftiness that Roddy talked about.
Number 64.
Procedure call will be on Ben Petrula, junior from Freehold, New Jersey, at the right tackle spot.
Yeah, at the next level, just simply being big as a running back only gets you so far. I think he will play a long time in the NFL because he avoids a lot of big hits, and when he chooses to, he can lower his pads and really make a defender pay.
He's only got 7 catches on the year. One of them is a touchdown, by the way. 52 yards on his first 13 carries as he slips down here, trying to get to the right side.
All of a sudden, Boston College is going backwards.
Yep.
The variation in the run game that we've seen, largely it's going to be a downhill run game, but Boston College is going to try and get some variation going side to side. But we saw a quarterback draw be effective with Dennis Grossell early in the game. Right now, it looks like there's not enough. There's too many players in the box to run that.
Empty set. Grossell is going to run it one more time. At 22 yards on the first carry. Gets just a couple there. And it's going to be 3rd and long now for Boston College, who comes into the ball game 37.5% against the ACC on 3rd down. Florida State, by the way, allowing opponents in conference play to hit under 35% of their 3rd downs. 3rd and 15. This is not ideal down in distance for Boston College.
Well, certainly not. So you would think some sort of screen, some sort of safe throw for Dennis Grossell.
And they get to add 5 more on it. Looked like Corey Durden was right in the grill of the right guard, Zion Johnson.
Snap infraction by the center.
Oh, Alec
5-yard
Lindstrom
penalty.
gets tagged for
3rd down.
the snap infraction.
Steve Adazio's got to be incredibly frustrated after picking up a first down. I think they're back behind the original line of scrimmage. And so this will almost certainly.
Well, they're on it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, there you
a
go.
yard ahead of it at the 12. Grossell, crossing route, nowhere. That was Zay Flowers. Asante Samuel, whose dad was a Pro Bowler in the league for a long time. Great play in the open space.
Well, and certainly Boston College is upset about getting stopped, but having moved back so far, now they're going to punt the ball from basically in their own end zone, just ahead of their own end zone, and give Florida State really great field position to start this next drive.
4th best punt returner in the ACC is DJ Matthews. Carlson sends it toward him. At the 40-yard line, Matthews headed the other way, and in open space, Max Richardson. Great play by the Eagle linebacker. Remembered, celebrated here today in this annual game. Former BC lacrosse player who personified the servant leadership, servant attitude, philosophy that permeates throughout this institution. You see Cam Akers a couple of yards on first down as BC leads Florida State 7-3 here in the second quarter at Alumni Stadium. You see the red bandanas all over this facility today. And we get a procedure call against Florida State for the false start.
5-yard penalty, second down.
This ball game, second time Florida State has been the opponent, by the way, for the red bandana game. We're here 2 years ago as well.
Yeah, and you could tell talking to Steve Adazio yesterday how much this red bandana game means to him, and how much Wells Crowther's story and his family mean to this institution. And the big thing he said, Wes, as you said, is Wells Crowther embodied the mantra of this university, which is service for others.
Yep. Tamari and Terry steps out of one tackle. And the big timer crosses midfield to the BC 46.
Well, Tamari and Terry not only has a great ability to catch the football in the air, but his run after catch ability is almost better. You see the missed tackles in the open field. That's something that Boston College was concerned about. 15 in the open field, and penalty on Florida State.
False start.
Kendall Briles was fired
Offense.
up.
Not all 11 players were set before the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kendall Briles wants to go fast. And when you think they're going fast, he wants to go faster. And they get the plays communicated, they get everything done, but execution is a premium, Roddy. And if we've learned anything in covering these tempo teams, that's the part. As you explained last week in our little field demo, everybody's got to understand what the process is.
Absolutely.
And this is their 6th different offensive line of the year. And that ball is broken up. Treshawn Harrison had it at the 27-yard line. But the idea, the 6 different offensive line today starting for Florida State in their 10th ball game. You're going to have unforced errors if you don't have continuity. And this team does not have continuity.
You're right. And anybody who does tempo will tell you you're only as fast as your slowest old linemen typically, because those guys take a little bit longer to get lined up. And not all 11 players being set. You saw the reaction of Kendall Briles was just fired up at their inability to do the procedural stuff once again.
2nd and 15. Blackman dumping it to Akers. And a play made by Richardson, but a flag is thrown as Max Richardson is shaken up on the play after making the tackle in the open field of Cam Akers. Yeah. Great play by Richardson. And yet again.
You're going to get a hold on Cole Minshew, who was kind of caught out of position.
Offense, 71. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
They take Minshew out, and they're going to bring Brady Scott in to play the guard spot.
And they announced 71, Chaz Neal. I think they actually meant 70, Cole Minshew, who had a tackle wrapped or had a linebacker wrapped around the neck, basically. You see right there in the middle, watch Minshew just grab him, grab the shoulder pad.
Number 70.
Be brought down. You do that in the open field, and they're going to find it. And you could tell yesterday Kendall Briles was not going to tolerate mistakes. He's going to yank those guys out and get somebody else in.
And the head's linesman has come off, and Steve Adazio, I think, wants to take the play.
The penalty is declined. Third down.
Tackle for loss by Richardson. Boy, Max Richardson, we thought he was good last week. He's been sensational in this first half.
And this is quite honestly, Wes, the type of game that fits his style. Sideline to sideline linebacker, very intuitive, being able to read, diagnose, make open field tackles. That's where he excels, and that's what Florida State is going to do against this Boston College defense. And Florida State's offensive line has been an issue. We talked about that a number of times. You're almost better off just getting the ball in one of your guys' hands short, letting them make some moves, maybe break some tackles in the open field and try and get the first down that way.
So now 3rd down for Florida State. Coming up on 8 minutes to go first half. Blackman in traffic, and he'll be brought down at the 49. Carafa, Big Tanner Carafa, the inside technique and defensive line, was the guy that was able to get out there with Richard Yergin, the grad transfer from Clemson.
Well, it was almost immediate pressure. on the left side of that Florida State offensive line. James Blackman was forced to scramble early. All the routes were downfield, and it results in a sack.
So here's Tommy Martin to punt again to Travis Levy. Not a good one either. And it takes a big BC bounce. That punt is basically going to more coming tomorrow afternoon, 3, 5, and 7. As the championships begin on ACC Network. And after the 13-yard punt, a first down run for A.J. Dillon as we welcome you back to Alumni Stadium with Roddy Jones, Eric Wood, Chris Damiani, our producer, Adam Bryant, our director, West Durham. 18th meeting between the Noles and the Eagles underway here on a crisp, chilly second Saturday in November. Dillon, first big run for A.J. Dillon. Inside the 35 to the 34. And there were some would-be tacklers in the secondary who didn't have a very pleasant experience.
Wes, if you wanted to know what kind of game this was, Boston College just showed you power up the middle, and A.J. Dillon finishing the run with physicality in the secondary.
Hamza Nasruddin may have had the right attitude at safety when the game started, but on that particular run a moment ago by Dillon, it did not turn out well for the young man from Concord, North Carolina.
And as this game goes on, this cold temperature and all the factors included, it's going to be harder and harder to bring down these two huge running backs.
Jet sweep with Flowers and cannot turn the corner. Big time play in space by Dirk, the defensive tackle.
Well, okay, Wes, that's a 305-pound man getting down the line of scrimmage and making the play on a jet sweep. What a play by the big fella, getting out on the perimeter to make that tackle when Zay Flowers cut it up. And it's going to make Zay Flowers think twice about it next time.
Yep.
I'd say that from personal experience. Played Utah in the Sun Bowl, and Star Latulier got after me, and let's just say it didn't end well.
3rd and 7, and here goes Bailey. First down, banged out at the 11-yard line by Asante Samuel. And here go the Eagles downhill, Roddy.
Absolutely. Get on the edge, David Bailey. And the blocking on the perimeter, you know, we talk a lot about the offensive line, but everybody on this BC offense is expected to block. Korab Adrizi on the edge had a great block as well.
Here's Bailey again at the 5, touchdown. Of the way, records are going to fall, and he'll move up the ladder. And Chris Barclay, Thomas Jones have been passed today. Next on the list, the former Yellow Jacket and Cartersville Fighting Purple Hurricane Robert Levette from the early 80s when Georgia Tech first entered this league.
Well, if A.J. Dillon and this offensive line keep rolling like this, he's going to threaten Lamar Jackson at number 5 before this game is over.
Bolden the fumble. Boston College scrambles forward at the 16. And Riley Johnson's crew's got to unstack them. Boy, if BC has this, Roddy, it belongs to the Noles. Well, now, wait a second. Boston College says they had it, but Riley Johnson's ruled it belongs to Florida State, so that's the way it'll stay. Isaiah Bolden never really had it, did he?
No, he didn't. And then he tries to take off instead of securing it first. And wow, Florida State is incredibly fortunate that Boston College wasn't able to wrangle that. You see, at that point, you got to secure it before you start moving.
Boy, Andrew Strader had it.
He had a shot at it.
Yep. So off the 11, James Blackman. 14-3. Blackman hit as he throws and incomplete, and it's going to be a hold. There are 2 flags, actually.
There's 3. There's one on the opposite
That's
side,
it.
too.
Yep, you're right. Might be offset. Let's see what this crew has. So we'll replay first down.
Holding, offense number 3. Foul will offset. First down.
So we'll go back to 1st and 10 for Florida State off its 11. By the way, we were mentioning A.J. Dillon a moment ago. Cam Akers has 19 yards on 8 carries, which pushes him over 1,000 yards. He now joins Dalvin Cook and Warwick Dunn as the only Seminoles who have multiple 1,000-yard seasons. And there's Akers to the 26-yard line. And that'll be enough, I think, for a first down. It is right at the yard.
And Wes, you mentioned that the other 2 guys who have rushed for over 1,000 yards. The offensive line situations were a little bit different during their careers.
Yes, they were.
Than Cam Akers, so that should not be glossed over what he has done here for the Seminoles.
Blackman throwing it for Terry, who catches it in stride. Tamari and Terry, a touchdown for the Noles, right over the top of Sebastian. And James Blackman got blasted when he cut it loose.
What you saw right there, I think, is a big part of the reason that James Blackman is starting this game. His ability to stand in the pocket, his arm strength to get the ball downfield and connect with Tamari and Terry, who just had one-on-one coverage. And beats it, is able to get down the field, make the catch, and finish it. That's a big response for Florida State, Wes, because had Boston College gotten the ball back, this offense is starting to feel itself and roll. So a monster response for the Seminoles.
5 for 144, which is a career high now for Tamari and Terry. And Aguayo punches the point. It's a 4-point game, thanks to a home run ball from Blackman to Tamari and Terry. Knowles a big score because, Ronnie, I think you and Eric are both right. Momentum was hanging in the balance. Remember now, they fumbled the kick return and fell on it. Yep. And 2 plays later, they get a 74-yard touchdown strike.
Well, they fell on it, and it was in the lap of a Boston College player before they fell on it. And a huge response.
Just the 2nd touchdown in the last 7 quarters for Florida State. Let's see if BC can answer. Here's Levy to the 26.
Weekday mornings, we'll bring you Packer and Durham right here on the ACC Network, exclusively talking ACC sports from football to field hockey, Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern on ACCN and the ESPN app. My man Wes Durham will bring you that show from Durham, North Carolina, Syracuse, New York, and then make it to a game in Boston, Massachusetts, all in 1 week. Hardest working man in show business right here, Wes.
The commitment that you guys have to cover me is impressive, and I appreciate it. Here's A.J. Dillon changing gears. Wow. To the 38 and a first down. Nasruddin, the tackle.
Well, the way Boston College is blocking this front, Hamza Nasruddin and A.J. Dillon will be on a first-name basis by the end of this game. The number of times that they'll meet.
And Dillon got shoe-top tackled by Amari Gaynor. And then help arrived with Dennis Briggs. So 2nd down. Dillon credited for about a half yard, to be honest. Final 3:48 of this first half. Remember now, Florida State gets the ball to start the second half. Rossell flips it to Dillon, and he got chopped down in space, and that was Asante Samuel. So 3rd and long for BC, and the Noles get a little steam in their stride now on the defensive side after the Blackman to Terry touchdown pass.
Yeah, some excitement. I think the way that touchdown happened really got this team going. Boston College has gone to that quarterback draw a couple of times, once out of this empty set. We'll see what Florida State goes with here and how aggressive they are. Excuse me, Boston College goes with and how aggressive they are.
Noles are only going to rush 3. Whipped inside and caught. Kobe White. Boy, Grossell spun that one.
And we've seen this a number of times. We saw it last week with Dennis Grossell as well. On 3rd downs, making some big plays to extend drives. That was a fantastic throw in a drop 8 situation, finding a hole and hitting Kobe White.
First down, and Bailey maybe, nope, lost a yard.
I'll tell you what was fun to see on that 3rd down conversion is injured quarterback number 13, Anthony Brown, on the sideline wearing his jersey, celebrating as Dennis Grosel completes that ball on 3rd down. Really a cool sight to see.
Yeah, he's a great leader of this football team. Had a chance to talk with him a little bit in the pregame, attacking his rehab, but heavily involved in helping Dennis Grosel in every way he can. So a great leader for Boston College.
2:20 to go. Here is Bailey, right side. Florida State trying to get a bunch of hats to the football. Play goes to the 46. Stanford Samuels, the corner. We talked to him. He was excited about the challenge of getting these big backs on the ground. Long corner, 6'2", 185 junior. Second, boy, he and Cam Akers in our visit with those guys yesterday, having to go through this coaching transition again. And you feel for the kids in this. And to be honest, Odell Hagan says it's about taking care of the players and the kids. Grosel, another rifle shot downfield to the 34, and a first down to White again. Well, Kobe White's become a bit of a security blanket.
And I don't know why Florida State has gone to zone coverage on back-to-back plays. Man these guys up and make them beat you. And they do it again. Kobe White's able to find a soft spot in the zone and makes a catch that is contested. Dennis Grosel delivering the football. Impressive what this kid has done.
Dillon. Maybe a yard. Florida State, Leonard Warner, the linebacker. First guy through.
Clock starting to become a consideration for Boston College. They've got 3 timeouts, but only a minute left in this first half.
Grosel under duress and will be sacked. Emmett Rice fires through. First sack of the year for Rice.
Like Boston College has 5 guys in protection, and Florida State just overloads one side of the protection. Emmett Rice comes through and is able to bring Grosel down. Looks like Boston College is taking a timeout.
And Rice to the sideline.
Excuse me, it may have been Florida State that took that timeout, Wes. I'm not sure we've gotten the indication from the referees. Maybe we missed it. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for Boston College to be calling a timeout here. So my assumption is that it was Florida State that called it.
They took it off the board under the BC side, so it's listed as 2. College, so it was BC.
Wow. And I'm not exactly sure on the 3rd and 19 why you would take that timeout, unless you feel like you can get enough to kick a field goal. But even then.
You've already missed from 37.
And Florida State's got 3 of them. Right. So you're going to give them the ball back with now a lot more time.
And the chance to double up because you get the ball to start second half.
Exactly.
That's Levy in motion. 3rd and long for Grosel. Throw back, and this is Burt, the tight end. Needs a block, and he got tripped up. Wow. Stanford Samuels saved the first down for sure. 15-yard play, and it had a lot more in it.
Well, that's why you call the timeout. You beat them on zone. You think you're going to get man. You've got a great play. The screen is set up, and what a play by Stanford Samuels. Just to come back and swipe at the feet of Burt. Able to get him on the ground, and Boston College is going to let this drain down before they have to make a decision.
And Florida State with 3 timeouts doesn't call one.
Yeah, I'm not. Honestly,
I would have banged one here if I'm Odell Hagens, right?
Either team, you could understand them calling a timeout here. I think Odell Hagens on a 4th down, you at least give your offense a shot, an offense that goes really fast.
There's a timeout for Steve Adazio with 3 seconds left.
Boston College.
So the final play of the half
30-second timeout
is going to be snapped to Boston College. There's Brian White. He's the running backs coach. Worked with Coach Adazio's part of Urban Meyer's staff at Florida. And has been with him a long time. And, of course, he coaches Dillon and Bailey in that law firm that carries the rock.
And Wes, if Boston College does indeed kick this field goal, which you're calling a timeout, you would guess that they would. If I'm Florida State, I'm putting somebody back in the end zone in case it falls short and you can get a return here at the end of the half. I mean, we saw the way that field goal came off earlier. It was a little weird. It was short and stayed on the hash. But watch where this lands. As he kicks it, it's a little too far under. It stays on that left hash, but I'm not sure it really had the distance there. It lands just out of the back of the end zone. This is few yards further back than that.
But Mary's longest, 45 at Louisville. This would be just beyond that on the final play of the half. 46-yard try, and here's an Odell Hagens timeout. And Bumeri will take a free cut.
Timeout, Florida State. First charge.
So Florida State, who's got 3 of them.
This will be a 30-second
now
timeout.
will Odell Hagens take all 3?
Here's the last kick. This one obviously didn't count. Plenty of leg on this one, but it pushes it off to the right. So you get another shot at it.
Yeah, very fortunate to get another shot. With the wind here, he should have plenty of leg. And I'm glad, or I know he's definitely glad that he got his warm-up kick in there.
Yep. Kickers want to keep the process the same. Well, a week ago, Boston College scored 34 points in the second quarter. By the way, that helped their total during the season. Now 46 of their points, 46% of all their points have been scored in the second period this year.
Huh, that's incredible.
It's been a productive quarter long before last week. Let's see if Odell Hagens burns another one. Doesn't look like he will. Snap. Kick is down. It's got to hurry for Bumeri. And it is no good. So he's missed 2. Florida State trails by 4 as the teams go all to start half 2. As you get a look at James Blackman ready to go.
Not forget as well, Wes. Boston College 2 missed field goals late in that first half as well.
And the kick is out of bounds. Wow. So the kick goes out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds by number 37. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Danny Longman couldn't keep it in play. Let's check with Aaron.
I talked to Odell Hagens coming out of the half, and his adjustments were simple for the team. Buckle up your chin strap and play smart, disciplined Florida State football. He's very frustrated with some of the mistakes he saw from his team in the first half, but he is not down on him. He's very excited about the second half of football.
Well, the 33 rushing yards, Roddy, and of those 33, 29 belong to number 3, who's sidecar right of Blackman on 1st and 10, and the snap is offline. Blackman picks it up, scampers around, and now has room to the wide side of the field. And a flag has gone down in the secondary at the 41-yard line at Boston College's end of the field.
And it's on the opposite side of the field that James Blackman ended up scrambling to when he was well on the other side of the field. So it'll be interesting to see what this call is.
Defensive holding number 20. That 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
Elijah Jones, a freshman from Harlem in New York who went to Cardinal Hayes. One of those young guys. That's a secondary, by the way, that's now kind of beaten up for defensive coordinator Bill Sheridan, because Connor Greco, who started last week, is out for the rest of the year. Mike Palmer shaken up, so is Josh DeBerry for BC there this week.
Well, and it was against Tamari, the guy who we saw in the highlight has already hit a big strike.
So now they're across midfield, the run and the penalty. And Blackman going to throw to Scary Terry. And Tamari picks up right at about 6 on first down before Ella Track, who wears number 31 today for Boston College, makes the stop.
But Tamari and Terry had the great end of the first half. I would expect in the second half they're going to try and find some more opportunities to get him one-on-one deep down the field. And they've got one here now at the bottom.
Yeah, here's Harrison, and they're going to reroute and hand it to him on the sweep. BC looked like they handled it well initially. Harrison tries to move it back north of the field. Richardson and Borgerson, who you liked last week, the grad transfer Nolan Borgerson.
I did. I thought when Connor Greco went out and Mike Palmer eventually went out in that game, I thought Borgerson came in and really played well, played with his hair on fire.
Blackman flush from the pocket again. And he'll turn it upfield and dive for the first down. Inside the 35 to the 33 goes Blackman.
Well, Kendall Briles talked about the fact yesterday to us that he needed their quarterbacks to be mobile with the struggles of this offensive line. James Blackman, not known as a runner, but his second time using his legs to pick up a first down.
Blackman, a quick throw. Here again is Harrison. And Treshawn Harrison down to the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. Roddy, the dynamic of this game could change if Florida State gets the lead. I mean, just simply from a momentum standpoint, it feels like.
Well, you didn't want to give Florida State, if you're Boston College, give Florida State reasons to believe in this game. You wanted to give them reasons to go the other way. And Boston College hasn't played well enough to create distance from this Florida State team that the longer they go, the more confident they'll get. And Wes, at quarterback, we're going to get our first look of the year at number 13, Jordan Travis, now in the game. A little bit more of a running threat. The Louisville transfer getting his first opportunity here today.
So Blackman is out, and Travis, who played just 3 games a year ago for the Cards, into the lineup, trying to get here to the near side, and Travis inside the 15 and scores. One snap and the end zone for Jordan Travis behind the blocking on the perimeter of Tamari and Terry. Oh my goodness.
Well, if you go back and you watch Kendall Browns in the past, when he's at Houston, he has Derek King. In the heyday at Baylor, he had Robert Griffin III. Loves the mobile quarterbacks. And he told us yesterday in the meetings, look, you're going to see this guy because of his ability to run. Travis able to get to the edge, see if he's able to keep those feet in bounds as he tiptoes. No doubt that number 13 on his first collegiate snap as a Florida State Seminole gets a touchdown.
Wow. And the Noles have taken the lead for the first time today. How about that? 12:24 to go, third period. Jordan Travis comes in the game and puts Florida State in front on his first snap.
Bud Foster continues to bring pressure.
Number 19, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. Today on ACCN.
Roddy, Jordan Travis has changed this game. First snap is a Seminole, and he goes 26 yards for the score.
Yeah, he's a guy who saw some action at Louisville last year in garbage time, essentially, late in the season. But his ability to run, you see him there with Kendall Briles, who's talking to him. I would expect that we would see this more over the course of this game. Mixing in James Blackman, the throwing threat, with Jordan Travis, the running threat. It's given this FSU team some life, and certainly it's affected them on the scoreboard.
Short kick and the fair catch will be called for. So BC will scrimmage from its 25. Don't forget, coming up next, we'll send you off to Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Chris Cotter, Mark Hersley, Kelsey Riggs standing by at number 19 Wake Forest against Justin Fuente's Hokies. And then the nightcap from Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, number 15 Notre Dame meets the Blue Devils at 7:30. ACC Network Primetime Football presented by Geico. Triple header for you today.
That Wake Forest Virginia Tech game that follows us is fascinating to me. Virginia Tech played Notre Dame really well last week.
Yep.
And Wake Forest has got Clemson looming. So do they overlook a team like Virginia Tech?
A.J. Dillon on first down. He'll get 3 to the 28. Well, we talked, Corey Durkin, the tackle, by the way, we talked late in that first half when Florida State fumbled that kick, how they might have avoided giving away momentum to BC. Well, the Noles ended up getting momentum. Here's Dillon. He'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. You don't want to say imperative, Roddy, but Boston College kind of stumbled to the end of that first half, and you don't want to stumble out of the blocks here in half two.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. With the missed field goals, you can't rely on the special teams. This offense has to put the ball in the end zone in order to feel good about it. And you've got to establish right here that this is going to be the same type half as it was for much of the first, being physical, running the football down the field.
Third down, Dillon right side, first down, out to the 41, and let's visit with Eric Wood as he's joined by a special guest.
I'm down here with Allison Crowther, Wells' mother. Allison, what does this day mean to you, and how much of an honor is it that they celebrated through this game?
Well, it's an enormous honor. You know, it really means so much to our family that Wells is remembered so beautifully here. It's thrilling. We are always happy to come up and share in the love that everyone shows us and the love for Wells and what he did.
Coach Adazio expressed to us that he wants to keep this going forever. How much has Coach Adazio meant to you guys?
Oh, he's been tremendous. And, you know, I love, we go back into the locker room to meet with the team after the game, and to hear him speak, it's so inspiring how he speaks to his players and how he uses Wells' story also to inspire his players. It's just amazing.
Absolutely. From the bottom of my heart and everybody else here today, thank you so much for the sacrifice that your son made, saving so many lives and inspiring so many people along the way.
Thank you. Well, we like to say we hope that his example helps others to, you know, bring good into the world in ways both big and small.
Absolutely. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you.
Oh, a real treat for us to be here today to not only help remember Wells Crowther, but also wonderful to have Allison Crowther with us on the broadcast as well.
Absolutely. And again, as Eric said, we are all both inspired and incredibly grateful for Wells' example that he set. And in the meantime, Florida State had a big third down stop and forces a punt.
Yep, 6-play drive, and now Florida State will signal for the fair catch. Ball got knocked out of bounds around the 10-yard line, and we get a timeout. Almost 5 minutes gone, quarter 3. The Noles are in front, 17-14.
11 a.m. Eastern on ACCN.
Florida State's last drive was really sparked by James Blackman. A snap that goes between his legs. He's able to scramble for a big gain to really get them going and avoid disaster. But later on, he used his legs as well. Pick up a big first down on a third down play. And then Jordan Travis comes in the running threat, the guy who's known for it. And on a zone read play, fakes it, goes around the edge, and gets in the end zone. Incredible play by the quarterbacks as James Blackman back in this football game. The quarterbacks of Florida State not doing it through the air, but on the ground on the last drive to get him in the end zone.
So from the Florida State 10, the Noles now with a 3-point lead. It's their first lead of the ball game. Then a 6-play drive by Boston College before the punt. Blackman wanted to throw and slides out of a tackle. How about that Houdini act? And he'll get 6, maybe 7 yards. How about this play?
Once again, avoids disaster. I mean, this is immediate pressure in your face, and like Tanner Carafa not able to bring him down. He then slides through a couple of defenders, gets upfield, and actually gets a really good gain on first down.
John Lamont finally the tackle, and boy, Akers goes nowhere. Wow.
Cam Akers had a little bit of a rough day after a couple of runs in the first half.
Talking to Bill Sheridan yesterday, said the defensive front for Boston College is going to move a lot, put pressure on Florida State's offensive line. You saw it there, and they've been able to shut down Cam Akers for a majority of this game because of it.
28 yards on 11 carries for Akers. Blackman with an empty set now on third down.
And with no linebackers in the middle, you're able to maybe run a quarterback draw here.
Blackman, a quick throw. Oh, my heavens, and Harrison dropped it. Treshawn Harrison had it go right through the wickets.
When you see James Blackman delivers this, and it's a cold day. And those hands are cold. We got to warm them up. And James Blackman did everything he could on that one. Treshawn Harrison beating himself up over teammates trying to pick him up.
Tommy Martin will punt it away to Travis Levy. Under 9 to go in the third. Levy going to wave it off. And it was touched up. Thought it might have grazed the knoll around the midfield line. Ends up being a 37-yard punt. 39-degree day at Chestnut Hill when we come back. The ESPN family of networks. And he's not going to like this very much.
Not at all.
But we are blessed to have Dave Myers with us on our crew, who's a veteran. Dave, we appreciate your work with us and appreciate your service to our country, my man.
Thank you for your service and your dedication to it. Absolutely.
You're a good man, and we are glad to have you with us. Grateful to have you with us. First down throw to Jake Burke. Oh, look at this. Oh, now we're in real trouble, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Look at that.
Oh,
Working
man.
with ROTC in the Houston, Texas area now. And
Showed up last week when we were in Syracuse in uniform as well.
Awesome. And we're in big trouble.
There we go.
Yep. And Dillon toward a first down on 2nd and short. Eric, you may have to come up here and get Roddy and I out of this booth after the game.
Yeah, you guys don't want to step out in this cold. It is cold.
No. Dave is not happy with us. There we got Dave on TV.
I thought you were talking about getting Roddy back out in the cold after the game.
No. Well, there's that too, but yes.
No, Dave is great. And from down in the field, thank you so much for your service, Dave.
Absolutely. Crossing the 3rd and short, play with A.J. Dillon. Well, 3-point game. And guys, I'll be honest with you, this has morphed into a little bit of the Boston College offensive line against the Florida State defensive line. Funny how we kind of come back around to that equation here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, eventually it all boils down to that exact pairing, that exact matchup. And Boston College offensive line, for much of the game, has really controlled it. Florida State has done a really good job of getting negative plays in spots and getting Boston College off schedule.
Grossell hadn't had many chances to go deep, looking for Flowers and overthrows him. Nasruddin in coverage for Florida State.
And Zay Flowers broke off that route, crossed the face of Nasruddin when Grossell expected him to keep going straight ahead. Grossell threw it as if he wanted to just take a shot on the guy running straight. Flowers crosses the face of Nasruddin and ends up nowhere near where the pass lands.
2nd and the full 10. Dillon trying to find a spot. Boy, A.J. Dillon just won't bend back. Down to the 36. And now 3rd down coming up. Stanford Samuels. Again, those corners, for the most part, have been willing tacklers today.
They have. I mean, you're going to win some and lose some against this pair. But this is a 3rd and medium situation that Florida State's actually had some success in today.
Grossell going to get to the left, dump it down, and knocked out of bounds is Kobe White. That's not anywhere near the 1st down. In fact, Roddy, I thought for a moment, had Grossell taken one more step, he just should have run with it, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, especially because Kobe White's basically right at the line of scrimmage. The ball's on his back shoulder, so he can't just take the ball, turn upfield, and run. And Boston College is going to go for it here on 4th down.
On 4th and 5, to learn a hard count from Dennis Grossell trying to draw this Florida State defense off sides.
Going to run a play. Grossell beyond the reach of White, incomplete. I don't mind the design.
I don't either. He had slants on both sides. I thought he could have gone to the other side of the field for a slanted, but he has Kobe White right there. Not sure if that ball was tipped or not. We'll get another look here. Nope, able to get past the hands of a Florida State defender. It's just a little ahead of Kobe White. Honestly, it's where he needed to throw the ball, or else that ball is tipped.
Right.
But if you're going to throw it there, you got to let White get a little bit further or put a little bit more air under it, manipulate that ball. And Jordan Travis, number 13, back in the game at quarterback for Florida State. This Boston College defense has to be aware of the quarterback run.
With Cam Akers, by the way, in tow. And here is Travis trying to take off, and he'll be slung around and dropped by the linebacker John Lamont. You got to account for Jordan Travis. He is very slippery out of West Palm Beach. Was rated one of the top dual threat quarterbacks coming out of high school a season ago from the Benjamin School. Here's Akers trying to get to the perimeter. And a flag gets thrown in as Akers pitched it to Harrison. But we got 2 flags, one in the middle of the field and one near the numbers at the 43. It's a hold.
Near the run, holding, offense number 32.
Tight end Gabe
10-yard
Neighbors.
penalty on the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
And Wes, this is essentially just a speed sweep. It's a handoff to Cam Akers, but look at Trayshawn Harrison. He's in pitch relationship the entire time, and Cam Akers has the opportunity to pitch at the very end. He does. Harrison does a good job of staying in pitch relationship, and they're able to get a little bit more out of it. It's just a different way to run a speed sweep. And you're seeing some of the creativity from Kendall Briles coming out.
James Blackman comes back in as the quarterback now. 2nd and 14 as we go inside 5.5 to play in quarter 3 at Chestnut Hill. We got a penalty on Florida State. Procedure again on the Noles. Their 6th of the day. 35 total yards.
Offense number 56.
And that
5-yard
one
penalty.
is on Ryan Roberts, the right tackle, who Kendall Briles talked about his leadership this week. Even for a grad transfer from Northern Illinois, who's not a long-time starter either for the Huskies or at Florida State. But Roberts has kind of been a guy that has rallied that group this week.
Yeah, he said that he's been their best offensive lineman, had a great week of practice this week. It's one of those guys he called out that showed a ton of leadership.
Yeah. So after the penalty, 2nd and long. Blackman over the top, and it is caught. It's the tight end, McDonald. First down, Florida State.
We saw this play last week, but it was with Cam Akers at running back. The tight end just sneaking up the middle. And Akers completed it. It looked kind of the same, honestly, when Akers did it. He was in that wild cam formation, ducked in, threw it over the top. James Blackman this time goes play action, does the same thing.
Here's Blackman again from the pocket, dumps it to Akers. Steps away from Richardson. Akers down the near sideline and banged out of bounds near the 20. Tamari and Terry again, a very helpful blocker on the perimeter for Florida State.
And when you look at whether or not a team is interested, whether they want to play, whether they love each other, it's receivers blocking downfield for their boy at running back that'll show you that, hey, this Florida State team is feeling good.
They're interested now. Ball got deflected by Richardson. It was lined up from McDonald, the tight end. Might have saved a touchdown.
I completely agree. I'm not sure this doesn't go for 6 if Richardson doesn't get a hand on it. McDonald, the safeties were split. There was a gap in the middle of the field. It was going to be a foot race to the end zone, and I'm not sure McDonald doesn't win that one.
Akers. Not a lot inside there.
Down here in the red zone, I'm surprised they didn't sub Jordan Travis back in. Their run game has been so much more effective with him in the game by his running ability. Even if they hand it off to Akers, he'll often pull a defender with him, opening up some extra room.
Blackman wants to throw on 3rd and long, far side, catch made Matthews. And knocked out of bounds near the 12 by Sebastian. And Florida State's going to have 4th and short.
And this is the situation that Eric was talking about where Jordan Travis does give you an extra option. Instead, they put Blackman to the top of your screen. Blackman's up here. It's Cam Akers in the wild cam with 2 big guys ahead of him.
Akers, right side, first down. And Florida State's got it goal to go.
That's something we haven't seen a ton out of the Wildcat or Wild Cam formation, as Florida State will call it, all year. The jet sweep with DJ Matthews across the screen, that pulls defenders, makes those linebackers hesitate a little bit, and Cam Akers will make you pay in that instance.
Moraes made the stop. Blackman back at the wheel. He'll throw to the end zone. Terry and a touchdown. Whistles blow. There's a flag down across the way. Referees Riley Johnson.
Illegal formation by the offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
See how big this play is.
It's massive. I mean, you got the offense along 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like Terry at the bottom. Excuse me, it's this one right here.
Gabers.
Exactly. They lined up in the backfield. Terry's on the line to the bottom. They're trying to figure out who's on the line to the top. They can't quite do it, and it wipes off a touchdown.
A couple of penalties on Gabe Neighbors in this possession for Florida State.
Yep.
I'm standing on the sideline right beside Terry, and he was looking over to the sideline, waving, saying, give me the ball again, pointing that he is confident he can get back into the end zone here.
Ooh. I'll say this, Terry is scary. First and goal. Blackman throws again and dropped Akers. Ooh. They had that one dead to rights too, Roddy.
Yeah, they did. And the ball from James Blackman certainly could be better, but Cam Akers just starts to turn upfield to lunge into the end zone a little too soon. Ends up forgetting the most important part, which you got to secure the football first. Throw could have been better, but that's one that Cam Akers is going to want back.
10th play of the drive. Akers, he'll score on the ground. 13th rushing score of the year for Akers is a 13-yard touchdown run.
Looks like the Red Sea parts. Look at the puller coming around, getting the block on John Lamont. Akers is able to knife through and then lunge into the end zone. And Florida State has constantly responded to adversity. The big strike in the first half, getting the stop on 4th down earlier in this half, and then going down and scoring. This feels like all the momentum is on the side of the Seminoles.
Sure does, and a chance to make the lead 10, and they do. Florida State has scored 21 unanswered, and they lead Boston College by 10 at Chestnut Hill. Talking. And Roddy, he's being very loud right now.
Absolutely. And Eric mentioned this in the break. I mean, he drops the pass, you go right back to him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's getting that ball in the end zone, right? He would.
Oh, absolutely. He is an intense dude. We could feel the intensity from him last night in the meetings. And I'm a huge fan of Cam Akers. He is going to make an impact at the next level.
Travis Levy off the kick. Levy, 25. Big collision near the 30. All right, guys, here we go. This week's Aflac trivia question. Thank you. Last week, A.J. Dillon, David Bailey ran for 414 combined yards. What duo holds the FBS record for most yards in a game? Steve Slayton and Pat White, Gordon and Ball, or Swervin, Cedric Irvin, and Mark Renault of Michigan State? The answer in a moment.
I'm not gonna lie, I may have guessed the first two, so I got to go C just because I don't know why that duo would be in there other than the fact that it's the answer.
Or you just want to say Swervin, Cedric Irvin. A.J. Dillon gets 5, gets 9, almost 10 on first down. Nasruddin the tackle for Florida State.
I'm going to go with A, Pat White and Steve Slayton, and just hope I wasn't on the opposing end of that one. But I know what type of damage they did to my Louisville Cardinals when I was playing there, so I'm going to go with A.
I love the fact that he says hope that I wasn't on the other side of that, because that means you know that they had some days. They had some days against the Cardinals.
Dillon got shut down for nothing, so it'll be 3rd and short.
Today is
out of fear/respect, Eric Wood offers.
Today is senior day for the BC Eagles. I remember on my senior day, Pat White going down the sideline, snapping his fingers after the game. They asked him about it. They said, why were you snapping your fingers? He said, well, today was like a walk in the park.
Here is Grossell. He kept it and fumbled the ball. And BC, I think, says they have it. It would be a first down, but Dennis Grossell got slammed. And the Eagles do have the football. My goodness, what a collision this turned out to be.
And he breaks the first one. He's able to sort of bounce off the first set of tacklers, and then on the second one, the ball comes out. He's got 2 hands on the football, but even if you have 2 hands, you got to hold it tight to your body so it doesn't come out there. Boston College fortunate to fall on that one.
Elijah Robinson recovered it after A.J. Litton jarred it loose, and here is Dillon running right at Leonard Warner, the linebacker.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Wes. There are times where Boston College has had a lot of success running the football, but I would not say that as the game has gone on, this Florida State team has gotten less interested in tackling. Actually, I think they have figured, they have found that, hey, the more physical we are, it's not going to stop, and the more success we have, and they have enjoyed it.
Grossell on a bootleg. Going to flip it down for Flowers, who can't hang on. At the 27-yard line, coverage by Litton. The sophomore corner from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and Darius Robinson, number 11, was pressuring Grossell on the throw.
Almost brings it down. It's a little behind him on the slide. It's a tough catch when it's on that back shoulder and you're going down like that. It sets up a 3rd and 7, and this is a massive 3rd and 7 for Boston College. They need points in a bad way. The Florida State offense has started to feel good and get things going. Boston College has got to respond.
21 unanswered so far by the Noles. Flipped into flat, and this is Bailey cutting back. He'll have the first down. Florida State bench wanted a hold. Didn't get it. Nasruddin the tackle on Bailey, who picks up the first.
I think they've got a pretty good argument for a hold. There was a high block around the shoulders of Florida State defender trying to get off a block, and it had all the makings of one of those hold calls. Now, obviously, we didn't have a great look at it from up here, but Florida State certainly had a much better look, and they were upset about it.
Final play. Florida State by 10. We go to the fourth. Our Aflac trivia question. A.J. Dillon, David Bailey, 414 yards last week. Who holds the FBS Power 5 duo mark for most yards rushing in a game? And guess what, Eric? It wasn't Steve Slayton.
Nice. Nice.
Swerving Cedric Irvin, Roddy.
There you go.
And Mark Bernal. How about that? First play. The reverse to Kobe White gets Boston College 8 to the 39.
I typically am not a fan of the multiple choice answers on the Aflac, but needed that one.
You kind of
needed that one.
You were kind of hoping though that it was going to be Steve Slayton and Pat White.
I was.
Why were you snapping your fingers, Pat? Because it was a walk in the park.
That's great.
It's a great line. Here's Dillon. First down for Boston College is A.J. Dillon, who's already got 100 yards to his credit today. Came in first in the ACC, second nationally, at almost 143 yards a game. You see the 31 carries for 136. There's carry number 32. He'll pick up about 5 there to the 29 before Nasruddin. Hamza Nasruddin's not going to have a hard time getting to bed tonight. He may want a cold tub before they get on the plane to go back to Tallahassee, as big Corey Durden is shaken up on the play for Florida State. And we will step aside. Almost a minute gone. Quarter 4. BC trails by 10, but it'll be too long before we see big 1-6 back. And look at A.J. Dillon climbing the charts today.
Climbing up.
Within 8. I should say within 8 yards of Lamar Jackson. 9 to pass. He could get that in one swing if you're not careful.
Absolutely.
Second down. He'll have a chance here. Bounces off, and he'll be measured to the 28. So it'll be 3rd and 4. Stanford Samuels, who told us yesterday, yeah, I'm ready for the challenge. And Roddy, to his credit, he has delivered.
All of these guys have. And we have seen what the combination of David Bailey and A.J. Dillon can do to a defense. We saw it last week up close and personal against Syracuse. This Florida State team has continued to swarm to the football, continued to be physical with these two running backs, and a lot of credit to this defensive line. They've continued to be physical up front, create enough negative plays as Darius Robinson went down and was trying to get off the field, went down on the Florida State sideline, is now being tended to.
By the way, Samuels out here without the shirt sleeves on, Eric. And I'm going to add now that Stanford Samuels from Pembroke Pines, Florida, is out here without shirt sleeves on, playing in this 30-degree weather here today. Tonight, after Notre Dame and Duke, a special edition of All ACC live from Wallace Wade Stadium. Great to have Coach Rick back, by the way, this week. Scores, highlights, breakdowns, post-game interviews from the day and night on the gridiron, and nobody will cover Week 11 in the ACC like All ACC. And Jordan Cornett's here today.
I can't wait to see if one of those guys decides to go no sleep.
By the way, there is some video out yesterday of E.J. Manuel and Eric McLean getting up shots at Cameron Indoor.
E.J. Manuel was dunking in Cameron Indoor.
He was. Third down coming up out of the timeout. And now Steve Adazio not happy. He wants to talk. That was not going the way that the 7th-year coach of the Eagles wanted it to. Quick message. And back for a big third down. Adazio's team down 10. Timeout. Okay, fellas, what do you want to see here out of Steve Adazio's team trailing 10?
I think you have to cut this at least in half to have an opportunity to go for it on 4th and manageable. So honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of shotgun run from BC. Zone read, we saw the sprint draw a couple of times the last few weeks. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, something conservative to get you a 3rd and short.
I agree, and the way the kicker has struggled today, they're not looking to get him back on the field. They want to get this here, likely go for it again, especially going this direction into the wind.
11th play of the drive. Grossell wants to throw. Quick shot, caught. That is the tight end, Ethan Williams, who had the touchdown catch on his first catch of the year last week at Syracuse.
Well, why not? Just get the first down. That's the play call. A really good job of Dennis Grossell going through his progressions, finding a receiver, and delivering the football.
Fakes the toss, flips it, dropped by Flowers. Not sure how much he would have had in it. Nasruddin was right there on the hip of Zay Flowers.
Florida State's done a really good job of playing this play today, both when the backs try and leak out, and here a receiver, Zay Flowers, trying to leak out. And I actually think there was a little more in that than we initially thought. And Nasruddin kind of stumbling out. Zay Flowers, had he been able to catch that, probably has some opportunity to turn upfield and make some yardage.
Straight ahead, Dillon. And down to the 13-yard line, so 3rd and about halfway here. And they're back in that kind of 3rd and what, middle number?
Yeah, 3rd and medium, a little bit further than the last time. It looks like it's going to be 3rd and a long 5, short 6. I think it's, it's the same type of approach as I said a moment ago.
Tight end in the slot at the top of the screen. Grossell. Dillon dropped it at the 8. And here comes Bumeri to try the field goal.
These are the ones that when you go back and watch either on Sunday or Monday, you are just waiting to get past this one. It's one that A.J. Dillon is going to think about really for the rest of the night. And it's an easy pitch and catch and potentially a touchdown, certainly a first down, potentially a touchdown.
Bumeri has missed from 37 and 46 today. This is 30. And he made it. Squeezed it inside the left upright. 7-point game, 12 minutes to. Danny Longman will kick it away. Keith Gavin, Isaiah Bolden deep. This is short, real short. Going to be fair caught by the Noles. And they'll play from their 25-yard line. Don't forget number 19, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech follow. And in prime time, the Irish are in Durham to meet the Blue Devils. Tim Hasselbeck, a preview for us.
Fighting Irish coming to town, and they want to run the football against this Duke football team. They're bigger and stronger, but Duke likes their speed to see if they can make enough stops in that run game and also prevent Ian Brook from making some of those off-schedule plays, as well as some of the plays he makes as a design runner. I get the sense that David Cutcliffe just wants this thing to be close late and then give Quentin Harris an opportunity to go win the football game.
All right, Dave O'Brien, Katie George, Jordan 10 tonight from the Horseshoe on the West Campus. Here's a crossing route, and Tamari and Terry taking off to the 41. The ball popped loose, but after ruled down on a throw of 16 as Borgeson made the play.
Good start to the drive for Florida State. You get the feeling if they are able to go down and score a touchdown here, it's going to be too big a deficit. The way Boston College has had to grind out these drives to score. Good start to this drive for Florida State.
Yep. Haven't had a turnover in the ball game yet. Had some close calls.
Yeah.
Blackman on the flat route. Harrison. First down to Sean Harrison to the 43-yard line. Two nice pass plays, one to Terry and now Harrison.
And I like both of them underneath, giving these skilled receivers for Florida State an opportunity to make guys miss in space. Boston College DBs have struggled tackling in space at points today, so a really good job of design by Kendall Briles, the offensive coordinator.
Blackman up in the pocket, tried to dump it back across the middle. Ella Track there to battle Neighbors, the intended receiver. Dave Neighbors from Hayhira, Georgia. And Lowndes County. second in the full 10. Little delay and Akers to work. He got 8 to the 34. TJ Ram the stop for BC. Under 11 minutes to go. Big third down play. Cam Akers got bottled up and he'll be turned back. Yard and a half short. John Lamont, the linebacker, was the first Eagle to arrive.
That's just John Lamont. He's a veteran player, redshirt junior for this team, just scraping over the top. Cam Akers makes the first man miss. He's able to make the tackle. Florida State has the offense on the field going for it. I like the call here. Be aggressive. And honestly, I'm going back to Cam Akers or finding Tamari on Terry wherever he is. It looks like Boston College is in man-to-man coverage. You've got Terry man-to-man right down here. Watch him on a little outcut.
And now we got movement on the nose. It looked
offense number 76.
Darius Washington, the left tackle, moved.
And these are the types of mistakes you'll get when you have true freshmen in the lineup. At left tackle, you have Darius Washington. At left guard, number 53, Maurice Smith, also a true freshman. And Kendall Briles last night said he will live with some of the mistakes from the freshmen because these guys are the future. They want to develop these guys. But on 4th and 1, what a crucial mistake by the freshman left tackle.
Travis Levy waits on Tommy Martin's punt. You see Washington very dejected with his unforced error. Martin going to flip this over. Levy's going to signal for the fair catch just inside the 10. And a little bit of contact on the back end of that.
Wes, I'm not sure how that's not a flag.
I don't either.
That has to be called.
Josh Brown, the linebacker, hit Travis Levy.
I mean, he clearly signals for a fair catch, and I get the jump kind of takes him into it, but there was a little something extra there that warranted a flag. There's plenty of time. That's acceleration. How is that not a flag? I don't understand. Florida State very fortunate not to give Boston College an extra 15 yards there.
You're right. So the drive was 5 plays for the Noles. And now, you think with 9:41, the way BC has to grind offensively at times, and Florida State shuts the door on Dillon on the first snap. He gets a yard maybe, and that's maybe. Amari Gaynor from Tallahassee went to Childs. Made the stop on Dillon.
You know, when you look at this Florida State defense on paper, their statistics don't jump out at you, but the per play numbers, the yards per play numbers are much better. This defense has actually been pretty good at times this year.
Grossell for Kobe White, and broken up, and now a flag is thrown. 2 flags. Pass interference will be called on Akeem Dent, who never turned to look for the ball.
Grossell underthrows this ball. Kobe White does a good job of trying to come back to it.
Number 27, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And honestly, the way Akeem Dent was running to try and catch up with Kobe White, there's no way he's going to be able to turn back and make a play on that football.
Well, he gave it the extra effort because when he hit White, he turned his head.
Yeah.
And
well, he knew.
Yeah, he
was in
knew.
position.
I mean, bottom line is 15 yards is better than a touchdown.
Absolutely. And honestly, this isn't the NFL where you get the ball at the spot of the foul where they would be just shy of midfield. It's 15 yards. They're still at the 26-yard line back in their own territory. As you said, with better than a touchdown.
Yep. Here's Dillon sweeping. Look at the stiff arm there. The stiff arm was issued to Levante Taylor, and then Nasruddin makes the tag.
Levante Taylor is one of the smaller guys in that FSU secondary, listed at 5'10", 190 pounds, and let's just say A.J. Dillon threw him as such.
Yep. Second down. Dillon. It'll be 3rd and a yard and a half as Emmett Rice makes the tackle. A.J. Dillon has moved into the top 5 now on the all-time ACC rushing list.
just checking off things on that list of accomplishments at Boston
Passing
College.
some players.
Oh, man. You pass a guy Lamar Jackson, Heisman Trophy winner? Yeah, I'd say so.
Passing some players. Dillon again, straight ahead, first down. Well, so Lamar Jackson has been passed. 4,139 of them.
Yeah, and 38 carries here today for A.J. Dillon. I mean, a guy that's going to tote the rock.
Travis Levy has come in the backfield. Grossell going to flip it to him on first down. Levy tries to follow a block, and he'll get 9, almost 10 on first down. Tackle made in the secondary.
I like
by
that little
Kalen Brooks.
I like that little wrinkle by Boston College, going with Travis Levy in the backfield. We haven't seen David Bailey in a little bit.
Yep. And this is Levy again. Different kind of back. Completely different from the Bailey and Dillon. The big back. Levy still. The thing is, you see Levy at like 210. After you see Bailey and Dillon, you think, man, that kid is skinny.
That's the exact point I was going to make. Listed at 205 on our depth charts.
Yeah.
And in most programs, that's a pretty good size back.
Here you run to the middle, right? Here's Levy trying to fit something in the seam. And it'll be second down and 8. I am fascinated by the playing personality of Boston College every time I see them live.
I am too. It's downhill, it's physical, and it's constant. And A.J. Dillon has gotten enough of a breather where he's going to be back in the football games. You saw Travis Levy coming off. But this Boston College offensive line is just going to, again, it's going to keep coming at you, being physical, working the angles, and being able to just lean on you constantly.
That's Flowers in motion. Grossell on second and long. Pumps. Now dumps it to Zay Flowers. And boy, what a good play in space by Rice. Boy, him and Rice has been fun to watch today. Junior redshirt from Miami Gardens. Went to Norland High School down in South Florida. They got a good program.
You play a team like this, you're going to be asked to play in multiple ways, and Emmett Rice has done a good job of being able to do it. He's played downhill in the run game, obviously, but able to get sideline to sideline on plays like that and tackle guys like Zay Flowers. Big third down here. Grossell has consistently gone to the top of the screen where the trips are.
Grossell shoots it down the field. Williams, the tight end, another big catch for the Eagles. Nasruddin, the tackle on a 17-yard strike.
Florida State has opted to go with a lot of zone coverage in these scenarios, and they do it again. And Dennis Grossell has been able to see downfield, step up in the pocket, and deliver. Does it again and again. He's come through on third down.
Here is Dillon, first and 10, trying to get to the left, and picks up 3 to the 26. 5 minutes to go. Florida State clinging to a 7-point lead here at Boston College, and you see the tail of the tape in the fourth quarter in the second half. For the Noles this year. And
in that Boise State game, they led at the very beginning of the fourth quarter as well. And when you're talking about a team that just fired its head coach, one win could have changed the dynamic of the entire season. It could be in play here today.
Grossell will run to the 10, to the 5. It's first and goal. Stanford Samuels saves the score. Grossell's had a pair of 22-yard runs today.
And each of the last 2 weeks when we've talked to these Boston College coaches, they have mentioned us. Grossell is a really good athlete running the football, and they actually encourage him to run the ball a little bit more. Here in the fourth quarter with the game on the line, going down to score the game-tying touchdown. A big play by your quarterback, stepping up, taking off and running.
Dillon is the running back. A.J. the carry, flag down. And no gain, maybe a step back behind the 2 for A.J. Dillon. Offside on Florida State, potentially.
Defense
Yep.
number 11. The penalty is half the distance.
Darius Robinson.
First down.
12th play of the drive coming up. for Boston College, and Roddy, under 4 minutes to go.
And that's a good point, bringing up the time, because now you're in a situation where you're not going to have as many shots. If you're Boston College in particular, there's no doubt this is 4-down territory as you get closer, but punching it in here is the most important thing.
Give it to Dillon. He bangs off the first guy. Another flag has been thrown.
I think they're going to get hit with offsides again. Maybe the blitzer this time.
Boston College is playing with a fullback in this package, Isaiah Miranda, who we saw briefly
Offside.
last week.
Defense number 16.
That time Corey Durden offside.
First down.
You know, these offsides penalties aren't costing Florida State a ton of yardage. What it is costing is obviously you continue the down, and from a time perspective, Boston College has just been able to run 2 plays, get the clock rolling, give Florida State less time on the other end, and this is an offense that goes fast, but this is going to continue to come into play as Boston College continues to have the ball under.
Dillon the carry. Did he get in? No. Knocked back at the 1. Let me ask you guys a question here. If you're BC and you score here, Roddy, you go for 2?
No, I think you tie the football game.
Okay.
I think you kick it and you tie the football game, because if and I don't know if Eric agrees or not, but if you don't get it and you get the ball back, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to go fast enough to score again.
I agree with that 100%.
2nd and goal. Grossell rolling right, can run and does for the score. He set him up with a 22-yard run, and now Dennis Grossell has scored on the ground with 2:33 to play.
Well, at some point in the potential 4 downs, Boston College was going to go play action. You get your quarterback on the perimeter, and he does what you've been asking him to do. Run into the end zone, use your legs. The dive gets in, and this place goes bananas.
Darius Robinson is the injured Florida State player. And Aaron Bumeri has come out as if he's going to attempt the point to tie the game.
Two Florida State guys down in the field, actually.
Carlos Becker, the other, I think, right?
Yes, number 15, Carlos Becker, also down on the field.
Darius Robinson, we saw go down a little bit earlier. I believe it was this drive. This drive's been so long, I can't remember if it was this drive or a previous one.
13 plays, 90 yards, and 7:08.
Yeah, and just eating up the entire 4th quarter. And Darius Robinson having gone down, this may be a continuation of that. But either way, what a drive by that guy, Dennis Grossell, delivering the ball on a big 3rd down, being able to scramble, get the ball down inside the 5-yard line, and then eventually get it in. The response by this Boston College team is something that Steve Adazio has to be proud of, and Harlan Bennett has to be frustrated with the way that went for his defense. But a monster drive for Boston College, and a huge extra point.
Dennis Grossell is Bumeri is ready to try the point. Grossell stepped up under center, and now back for hold to tie the game. Locked up at 24. Florida State has now been outscored 109-55 in the 4th quarter this season. 10-0 today, and Dennis Grossell has tied it at 24.
Are extremely hyped down here on the sideline, having a ton of fun. They were extremely excited after that last touchdown score, and the defense now extremely pumped up to get out on the field.
Well, this will be Bolden, who juggled one earlier. Florida State working upfield in a tie game. They get to the 40-yard line. Don't forget, tomorrow on ACC Network and the ESPN app, The ACC Field Hockey Championship at 11 a.m. Eastern. Number 9, Boston College hosts number 1, North Carolina. Then the men's soccer quarterfinals. 1, 3, 5, and 7, and you see the semis at 4 and 6 on Wednesday. Nobody covers the ACC like we do right here at ACC Network.
I can't imagine in this situation Boston College is going to play man-to-man and give Florida State an opportunity to hit him over the top. So James Blackman just needs to be patient, take what the defense gives him, and dink and dunk the ball down the field.
To your point, Roddy, they've given a ton of cushion on the outside all day, especially to Terry, and that's why you've seen so many of the underneath routes working.
But they're pressed up now.
Second highest pass total of the year for Blackman. He's got 286. He had 327 in the opener against Boise State. He had 280 against Wake Forest with 2 touchdowns in a losing effort at Winston-Salem. BC's got 2 timeouts left. It's 2nd and 11 for Florida State.
Again, showing one high safety and press to the top of the screen.
Blackman cuts it loose, middle of the field, breaking away Matthews. DJ Matthews cuts to the outside, and Matthews dives for the pylon. Touchdown.
The big question here is on the back end. Did he get in the end zone? When he dove, he did hit the pylon with the ball. Did anything come down before that happened? No, the first thing to hit is the ball on the pylon.
They will review the play. This is some kind of effort at the end from number 7.
That's a heck of a dive. That's from like the 4-yard line. But that's the danger on the other end. That's the danger of Boston College coming out and playing man-to-man like they have. And that jump is from the 5. That's impressive. That's
Look at this. Look at the right foot at the 5.
That is 15 feet of extension. I don't think there's any doubt.
If it stands, it'll be a 60-yard touchdown.
But again, that's the danger of playing man-to-man. You're one missed tackle away if everything's short from a big play, and then a couple of missed tackles, or a couple of blocks downfield away from a touchdown. Florida State coming out with a massive response. The question is, on the other side, did you score too fast? Now, you're going to take your touchdown where you can get them, but 1:48 left on the clock. 2 timeouts for Boston College. It looks like they'll have the ball. Need a touchdown to tie it.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
2 plays, 59 yards in 45 seconds. Wow.
Wow is right. Steve Adazio thinking the same thing. And unfortunately, if you're Boston College, with this amount of time, with what you're going to have to do, you largely take the running back position out of it. You're going to have to do a lot of the damage to the air. So we're going to see Dennis Grossell with an opportunity to go down and win it.
Aguayo to make it a touchdown difference. And he does. All right, Roddy, take me through this.
Well, it looks like it's man-free. You've got the safety in the middle of the field, and then man-to-man across the board. DJ Matthews right there. As we run it, just presses up, and it's a slant route. One broken tackle, he gets up the field, makes the safety miss, and then he's got some friends. Makes another cutback, gets a block up there at the top, and then a dive that was reminiscent of you, Western, from the 5-yard line.
I don't think so, but Tate Haynes, number 7, is the guy who originally, boy, what great camera work by our director, Adam Bryant, and his crew here. Tate Haynes was the guy who you mentioned. One and you're done a little bit, right? One busted tackle.
Well, yes, absolutely. One busted tackle, and it's a big play. 2 busted tackles, and it's a touchdown. And that's what you get when you go man-free. The opposite side of it is you try and take away some of those short passes, so you would hope that you take away the slant to discourage the quarterback from throwing it. But you kind of had the worst of both worlds there.
So Steve Adazio's team now back against the wall. When it looked like a moment ago they had carved something out on Grossell's 1-yard run. This will not be returned by Levy. So Dennis Grosel, who did a lot of work on his feet and opportunistic with his arm.
He also, yeah, that was a big third down play right there. This is the big run to get them down inside the 5-yard line. And then to finish off the drive, it's a play action pass where he obviously has the opportunity to run it as well, dives in the end zone, is able to respond. They needed one there to tie the football game, and they got it. The question is, can the redshirt sophomore, former walk-on, 7th-string quarterback a year ago, can he continue to build the lore of his starting quarterback time at Florida State, or at Boston College, excuse me.
Only thrown it 22 times for 138 yards. Middle screen for Dillon. A.J. Dillon to the perimeter, out of bounds at the 39. Heads up play by the back.
Well, either Florida State had 10 on the field or they got away with having 12 at the snap. Either way, it's a screen pass A.J. Dillon to start the drive, getting that running back position involved. That gets taken out a lot in these 2-minute offenses. This time, Dillon does a good job making some guys miss, gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
That's Kobe White in motion. Grosel cuts it loose, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted Leonard Warner. And Kendall Browse on the offensive side of the ball knows his defense almost came up with a great play.
Warner knocks it up in the air, dives for it. Ball, yeah, absolutely pops out.
Oh,
rolls
heavens.
over. How about Asante Samuel trying to sell it? Like, no, I caught it.
Yeah.
Come on, it took 2 bounces before it got to. I love that. But Dennis Grosel got away with one there for sure.
Yep. Second down. Grosel on the move. Cuts it loose, and that is intercepted. Stanford Samuels comes up with his 7th career interception and his first of the year with 1:23 to go.
What a play by Stanford Samuels, and really an ill-advised throw. Back-to-back ill-advised throws by Dennis Grosel. You just got to throw this ball out of bounds and live another day. And he's been pretty good about it.
Intercepted pass is under further review.
But he just lofts it downfield, and Stanford Samuels does a good job of stopping his momentum, and looked like he was able to bring this one in. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that he brings it in before it hits the ground.
Roddy, it's only the 9th turnover of the year by Boston College.
Yeah, he definitely secures that football. And throughout his time at quarterback, Dennis Grosel has been so good at, when the play is not you're just throwing the ball away, not putting the ball in danger, but it shows when the game's on the line, the pressure's on, and you start to feel like I gotta make a play.
Right.
Ultimately, you have to go back to the fundamentals. Live to fight another day.
Is confirmed.
So the interception by Samuels. And BC can only stop the clock twice. And here comes Jordan Travis back at quarterback for Florida State.
And because they can stop the clock twice, the game's not totally over.
Right.
They would have some opportunity, have some time left on the clock to get the ball back here. But Jordan Travis is going to provide that run for them.
A first down here would end it.
Seals it, absolutely.
So the decision to play Jordan Travis today by Odell Hagens and Kendall Browse. And there's one of the 2 timeouts for Steve Adazio.
Boston College.
Only 4 seconds go off the clock. The decision, Eric, I'll bring you in on this as well. The decision to play Jordan Travis, Roddy, this point in the season, first of all, it pays dividends. On his first snap of the year at quarterback, he goes 26 yards for a touchdown.
Well, what you can only assume is that there were differing opinions on whether or not George Travis should be playing this year.
Correct.
And the lead voice in what seems like the parade to not play Jordan Travis was just let go, because the first game without Willie Taggart at the helm, we get Jordan Travis in this game. It is notable that after starting the last 2 games, Willie Taggart leaves. James Blackman starts. Jordan Travis is the next quarterback to come in. Alex Hornibrook doesn't see the field today. Kind of lets you know that there were some disagreements behind the scenes.
And Odell Hagens and Kendall Browse talking about the structure of the final 79 seconds here. One timeout left for Boston College. "21 straight points by Florida State in the course of this game today. Changed the dynamic of the afternoon." Here's a look at the Atlantic.
Boston College.
This is Florida State's last conference game, by the way. They have Alabama State next Saturday and then Florida to close, Roddy.
And what I'd be talking to this team about if I'm Odell Hagens, obviously game to game, but you're able to get a win right here. It brings you to 5-5, 500. You get a win against Alabama State.
You got 6.
You got 6. You get a win against Florida. You got momentum in 7. You have an opportunity to be an 8-win team at the end of the season in the big picture. Now, certainly Florida's an uphill climb. That's a really good football team. But in a rivalry game, you've already come out and had a disappointing performance in one rivalry game a week ago.
Yeah.
You're going to have another shot down the line. You got some opportunities to get some momentum. And then at that point, the people who wanted to see Willie Taggart exit are going to be validated. But this football team will certainly feel like they've got some great momentum going into 2020.
Eric, I'll say this too. It speaks to the relationship Odell Hagens talked to us about yesterday with him and this football team as players and what he wanted to do for the young men in this team.
Absolutely. He is all about the players. Talked about loving his players, building them up, having fun with them this week. He was so impressed with the way they worked all week for him. As you see Jordan Travis take off right here.
And he will score easily. Wow.
And Wes, you just mentioned it. If I'm a Florida State fan, I'm wondering why is this the first time we're seeing this kid? Just the ability to create offense. This is an offense that has sputtered. He now has a dynamic play to go with the touchdown earlier in the game. And yeah, Boston College is selling out. They've got everybody within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. But he's able to crease you, and then he's got the speed to take it to the house.
66 yards for Jordan Travis. Tell you what, his yards per carry is going to be ridiculous.
And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people in Louisville, Kentucky cringing right now, wishing they had him up in Louisville right now to play quarterback.
Aguayo bangs the point. 38-24.
And we talked about Odell Hagens a number of times and just what he has meant to this program, what this program means to him. He had success as the interim coach the last time he was put in that position.
Yep.
A win over ULM, a win in the bowl game. The question that I had coming into this week was he going to be able to press those buttons again to get these guys to play hard in a game where they were going to have all the reasons to not want to play hard? It was cold today. Two 250-pound backs that they were going to have to tackle, play in and play out. And Hagens has done a fantastic job of finding the right combination, getting these guys to play hard, and getting a win to finish out ACC play.
Well, a lot of credit goes to the Hall of Famer Odell Hagens. A native of Lakeland, played for Bobby Bowden, was Deion Sanders' college roommate. And Coach Odell, as he's known, pushed the right buttons again, Roddy, here today. I'll tell you what was most impressive was it was 14-3, and they fumbled the kick, recovered it, and then 2 plays later, Blackman threw to Tamari and Terry, and Florida State somehow, in the span of 3 snaps, found a way.
And look at that, 26th season as an FSU assistant coach. You talk to anybody who's played at Florida State over the last essentially 3 decades, and they have a relationship with Odell Hagens. It doesn't matter who's come through the door, Bobby Bowden, Jimbo Fisher, Willie Taggart.
And it won't matter who comes through the door next time either.
It better not.
Nope, it better not. You're right.
You talk to guys like, I mean, we obviously have a relationship with E.J. Manuel.
Right.
It's a part of this network. talks about what Coach Hagan's means to this program, and just the fact that he bridges so many generations of Seminoles.
Final minute. Here is Dillon. And that'll be right on the number for the first down. Leonard Warner, the tackle. Boston College out of timeouts. We go under a minute. Well, the game kind of turned in a span, believe it or not, of 45 seconds. Down the seam, this is Burt, the tight end, the catch to the 41 of Florida State. In that quick span, Roddy, of 45 seconds, Dennis Grosel scored on a touchdown, and then James Blackman threw to DJ Matthews. Flowers went out of bounds, came back in to get it. There'll be a flag there. The catch inside the 5, but Zay Flowers went out of bounds. Akeem Dent defended. And for a team that had seen leads whittle away in quarter 4.
The receiver stepped out of bounds and it came back in and was first to touch. That's illegal touching. That's a loss of down foul at the previous spot. Second down.
So the idea that Florida State stared the fourth quarter deficit or a tie game in the face in the final 2 minutes and has found a way to win here today is also a note.
Yeah, you see Flowers, who took about 5 steps out of bounds and comes in and jumps and catches it. Yeah, sorry, freshman, you can't do that. But you're right, Wes. And I was a little surprised that in that situation, Boston College opts to go man-to-man.
Sure.
Challenge these Florida State receivers when you know that there's such a threat, not only to get open, but after the catch as well. But for Florida State, mentally, there's so much to overcome this week. So many distractions. It was probably, you have to assume, a relief for them to get to the game and play football, not have to worry about all the stuff that's going on around. You saw James Blackman and how happy he was. How about him after being benched for a couple of games? Alex Hornibrook getting the start, coming out and playing well. He's got that C on his chest for a reason. Odell Higgins has to be proud.
Well, James
After
Blackman.
further review, the ruling of the field is confirmed.
Blackman's numbers, by the way, 18 of 26, 346, and 2 touchdowns. The 346 is a season high.
He was really good today. He was really, his ability to use his legs, his ability to maneuver, to deliver the ball down the field a couple of times accurately. A couple of them were dropped, but the big strike to Terry, obviously when the game was on the line, the strike to Matthews as well.
Grosel, and the catch is made, stepping out of bounds. Burt again, the big tight end. We thought we might see Hunter Long today. We did not for Boston College. No catch, a couple snaps, but that was about it. Adreezy did come back at that tight end spot, an integral part of what Boston College does. But with 20 seconds left here, the Eagles trying to get in the end zone. Grosel caught, and that's Williams. Or no, Kobe White. Kobe White, the diving catch, his second score of the day with 14 seconds left to go. Grosel is thrown for 2 and run for another.
It's a good throw at the seam. Delivers this ball accurately to Kobe White before Stanford Samuels is able to get over and make a play on it. And look, it may seem insignificant, but it's certainly not. Boston College now going to have an opportunity for an onside kick, and they recreated the Doug Flutie Hail Mary earlier. They may have a real-life opportunity to be able to have similar magic happen.
Yep.
But first, you got to recover the onside kick.
Yep. So BC will get all hands on deck here.
And we'll see what my buddy Ricky Brown, Elder High School guy from the same high school as me, we'll see what he draws up here for this onside kick attempt.
That's the Elder Panthers, by the way, Roddy.
Yeah, and everywhere we go in the Northeast, we hear about the Elder Panthers.
A lot.
Good players come out of there.
There's Ricky. His older brother and you teammates, right? You would?
His younger brother, Michael, and me teammates. Ricky was 2 years ahead of me. One of the best high school football players I've ever seen. Boston College grad. Played 7 years for the Oakland Raiders.
All right, let's see what Danny Longman's got in the onside category here. And the whistle blows because Florida State wanted to have another look.
Timeout.
So Ricky Brown
Florida
handles
State.
the special teams.
30-second timeout.
Mark Snyder is Florida State's special teams guy.
And Steve Adazio is going to he's going to talk to Coach Brown, Ricky Brown, a little bit. Talk to his kicker as well.
I don't know if I like that attempt. I mean, just a line drive at the sideline.
You have to imagine that he either heard the whistle and pulled up, or just
I think he was kind of,
or just mishit that one. Because
by the way, quick note here about Ian Book and Quentin Harris in prime time tonight at Wallace Wade, presented by Geico on ACC Network. This is Notre Dame's first visit to Wallace Wade Stadium since like 1960 something.
Oof.
Ian Book in the last 3 games, 49% completion, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks.
He's certainly struggled. Some of that has to do with the fact that I believe one of those games in the rain.
Here's the skip, and the ball is recovered by the Noles at the 48. And Florida State and Odell Higgins are going to go to 5-5, and they're going to finish ACC play at 4-4.
Well, that big hop that you're looking for on the onside kick just happens a couple of bounces too soon. Makes it really easy for DJ Matthews to field it and for Florida State to get a big win for this program.
Florida State had lost 5 straight ACC road games in the last 2 years, dating back to the start of the Willie Taggart era. Odell. Coach Odell gets the shower. And a handshake with Steve Adazio and a quick hug.
Well, look, Florida State is not the type of program to dump a coach just to getting 500, but it shows the type of love that these kids have for Odell Higgins. It shows the type of man that they all think